Hey everybody, ABC 10 meteorologist Brendan Minchef here, and I've just got one thing to say, and it looks like Saturday is going to be the hottest day of this heat wave. We're looking at widespread valley temperatures greater than 110, northern Sac Valley between 115 and 120, Redding may even top out at 120 degrees later on this afternoon. So those ABC 10 weather impact headlines remain the same. That excessive heat warning continues through Tuesday across Northern California, but the peak heat does look to be today for Saturday. 112 degrees widespread across the valley. Will be cooling down Sunday through Tuesday. Sunday, not that much cooler, all things considered, but still 106, 107 is about 5 or 6 degrees cooler than what we'll see today. In the heat today, though, on Saturday, it will be very easy to develop heat-related illness such as heat exhaustion or heat stroke. So limit the time outside. I know I've said that all week, but really today is the day to stay inside the AC as much as possible. If you're going to be outside for more than a few minutes, make sure you drink plenty of water before your time in the heat, while you're in the heat, and then when you come back from the heat as well, and wear sunscreen while you're out there. That'll keep you from getting burnt, and that'll help keep your body temperature cooler when you come back inside, so you're not dealing with being burnt as well and having the hot skin from that. Yesterday, this was for Friday in Northern California. Downtown Sacramento made it to 110 degrees, 107 degrees. Sacramento Executive, 108 Stockton, 108 in Modesto. And that is a new daily high temperature record for downtown. And we tied the daily high temperature record for Sacramento Executive yesterday. Warm morning lows, way above average. We were above the record yesterday. Even today will be very similar. So even though yesterday was the hottest day of the year, today will likely go to the top of this list the next time you see me on YouTube. So the current 100-degree streak is 6 days in a row. That started June 30th. We made it to 100 degrees. Monday was 103, 106 on Tuesday, 108 Wednesday, 109 on Thursday, and 110 degrees yesterday. And we're going to add some more to this list before this heat wave is all said and done. The longest stretch of 100-degree plus temperatures downtown was in July 2006. We did 11 days in a row from the 16th through the 26th. The longest 105 plus stretch was 7 days, and the longest 110 plus stretch was 2 days. That was back in September of 2022 when we made it to 116 degrees in Sacramento. So I think a lot of us remember that, and that was no fun at all. But this heat wave is definitely going to be one that's very close to the records for all of these records here: 100 plus, 105 plus, and 110 plus. Exactly what the number ends up being, we'll just have to wait and see when the heat wave is over. But that heat risk forecast for Saturday, look at all of the purple on the map. That is that extreme category there. And it's not just in the higher elevations today. It's in the San Joaquin Valley. It's in the Sacramento Valley. It's in the coastal range. It's also in the Sacramento metro area this afternoon. So this level of rare and or long duration heat, and in this case, it is both. There's no overnight relief here. This will affect everybody that is not staying cool and that is not adequately hydrating. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water before, during, and after your time in the heat. I know I've said that. It won't be the last time you hear me say that in this video. But it's not just us here in Northern California either. It's all the way down the Central Valley. It's out along the Central Coast as well, all the way down into Southern California, into the deserts, and the extreme heat risk even continues further up north into far northern California today. So again, this does look to be the peak of the heat wave, but that doesn't mean we're going to be significantly cooler starting tomorrow. I've got 112 degrees as the forecast high later on this afternoon, and with little to no Delta influence this evening. I mean, look at that. Maybe we see an 8-mile-per-hour breeze. That's going to be it. We're going to be 110 degrees by 6 o'clock, 102 by 8 p.m., even by 10 o'clock tonight, still in those mid to upper 80s in the valley, and by midnight, still about 80 degrees. So it is not going to this evening will not be any relief for us. It is still going to continue to be hot. Highs Saturday afternoon in the high country: 88 South Lake Tahoe, 97 in Truckee, 101 Pollock Pines, 103 in Forest Hill, 104 Twain Harte, 109 Sonora, 109 Angels Camp in Jackson as well, 107 in Placerville, about 114 degrees in Oroville this afternoon. The only place you can find that relief is right along the immediate coastline. You've got to be right on the coast to find that relief. 71, San Francisco 73 in Santa Cruz, 100 in Gilroy, 94 San Jose, 80 in Oakland, 89 Vallejo, 99 in Napa, 104 Fairfield, 109 in Vacaville, 112 in Tracy across the valley. We're going to be really near and above the record highs for the day. 113 Modesto, 112 Turlock, 113 in Patterson, 112 Manteca, 113 Stockton, 112 Lodi and Galt, 111 in Elk Grove, 111 in Folsom, about 112 Roseville, 115 up in Colusa. Again, Redding, which is not on the map, it's in far northern California, could make it to 120 degrees this afternoon. The Sacramento Metro is going to be right around 111 or 112 for just about all of us. It is going to be a very, very hot day today. So the weather impact alert, especially between the hours of 11 a.m. and 8 p.m., it is going to be extremely hot, and the sunshine will make it feel even hotter. So find the shade, stay in the shade as much as you can. Even better, stay inside as much as you can today, because that's the need. You'll want to limit your time outside, stay inside as much as possible, stay in the AC as much as possible, because it will be just that hot today and so easy to develop those heat-related illnesses. The excessive heat warning continues across the valley. Heat advisories in the Sierra. These run through Tuesday, but it's not just the valley. Of course, like we said, it's the high country, but it's also out in the Bay Area. We see those heat advisories. We've got heat advisories down into Monterey Bay. We've got heat advisories and excessive heat warnings all the way up in far northern California and all the way down into Southern California as well. And in fact, the U.S. West Coast is basically pink or orange from those heat advisories and excessive heat warnings. So from one international border to the other, we are just all covered in those heat alerts for the next several days. This is where I'd like to be today, is Fort Bragg up along the coast. Like I said, you got to be right along that immediate coastline to feel the relief. 68 degrees in Fort Bragg this afternoon, waves 3 to 4 feet, and that water temp 54 degrees. That's really cold, but with 112 degrees as an air temperature in Sacramento, yeah, I wouldn't mind putting my feet in the Pacific later on this afternoon. Here in the valley, though, and in the Sierra, it is serious heat, and it is this high temperature, a widespread 5 out of 5 on the climate shift index. That means climate change is making these temperatures at least 5 times more likely to occur than in a climate that we have not been polluting, that we've not been putting extra carbon into. This is an exceptional heat event that would be nearly impossible to have without our emissions that we've been putting out into the atmosphere, without climate change, making these temperatures more likely, even more possible compared to 50, even 100 years ago. So I know we're tired of talking about the heat. We've talked about it a lot. We're approaching it from all these different angles. But I do want to say we have to pay attention to the heat, because if you look at the weather-related fatalities for 2023, which is in the light blue colors, the darker blue colors is that 30-year average. You see the numbers for flood, for lightning, for tornadoes, hurricanes, wind. You also see the winters for the cold and the winter months. But none of this compares to the weather-related fatalities from heat. 207 people died last year as a result of heat, and the 30-year average is 183. Again, that number is way above any other type of weather. So this heat is something you've got to take serious. You've got to know the signs of heat illness. The first step to heat illness is heat exhaustion. You've spent some time outside in the sun. Maybe you haven't been drinking enough water. It's very hot out there. You could develop heat exhaustion very easy, especially today when it's 112 this afternoon. So the signs of heat exhaustion: you're going to be thirsty, you may feel dizzy, you may feel nauseous even. Your skin will be cool, it'll be clammy, you'll be sweating a lot. That's heat exhaustion. Go inside if you have these symptoms. Get in that AC, drink plenty of water, rest, relax, don't do anything strenuous. You'll recover. Heat stroke is a lot more serious. Maybe you have the signs of heat exhaustion, you continue to ignore them, or you don't recognize them. Well, the next step to that is heat stroke. You'll get a headache, your skin will be red hot and dry, and you will not be sweating. This is one of those dead giveaways with heat stroke, is you will not be sweating. This means you need to call 911. This is serious. This can be fatal. You need to call 911 and get rehydrated very quickly, because heat stroke, again, can be fatal, and it will not take much to develop heat stroke later on this afternoon because of how hot it'll be. So we're going to go through those heat safety reminders. Sunscreen. The American Cancer Society says wear sunscreen with an SPF of at least 30. You can also wear a wide-brimmed hat to protect your face and ears in the back of your neck from getting burnt. Sunscreen will not help you feel cooler. It's true. It's not going to help you feel cooler, but it will keep you from getting burnt, which can help you cool off later on, because if you're burnt, your skin is still going to be hot. When you go inside, it's going to be harder to cool off. You're not going to feel good. So wear the sunscreen, protect yourself that way. Take breaks in the shade. The risk for heat injury, like we've talked about, very, very high. The risk for heat illness. The CDC recommends about 35 minutes in the sun and then 25 minutes in the shade and or the AC. And most importantly, you got to stay hydrated. Avoid the energy drinks and the alcohol. Those can really dehydrate you very quickly. Drink water before, during, and after your time in the heat. The CDC says it's better to drink kind of spaced out as opposed to all at once. Ideally, it would be about a cup of water every 20 minutes. A cup of coffee, a cup of tea, something with a somewhat normal amount of caffeine is just fine as long as it's in moderation, just one, maybe two. If you're drinking these energy drinks, you're drinking alcohol, especially out in the heat, maybe you're on a boat in the heat and you're drinking that alcohol, maybe 2 or 3 beers, and you're really not staying hydrated with the water, that's going to dehydrate you very quickly, and you could develop the heat exhaustion that we've been talking about. Again, it's important. We got to take it seriously. In addition to the heat, though, it's also a spare the air day. 126 is the air quality index today. That is unhealthy for sensitive groups. The stagnant air, the sunshine, and the hot temperatures it creates near-surface ozone because of chemical reactions. So the sunlight reacts with volatile organic compounds, VOCs, and nitrous oxides. These are emissions from vehicle exhaust, industrial facilities, gasoline vapors, and chemical solvents like paint, paint thinners, other things like that. Those compounds, the VOCs and the nitrous oxides, react with sunlight and creates near-surface ozone, and that is why our air quality is reduced today. Now, if we had a delta breeze in the evening or we had the air kind of moving at all, it wouldn't be quite such a big deal, but because we don't, stagnant air, the pollutants aren't going anywhere. That's what's going to allow for that near surface ozone formation. So again, if you have asthma or you have other respiratory issues and you're sensitive to polluted air, to dirty air, you may just want to stay inside, not just for the heat, but because of the air quality as well. And it wouldn't be responsible to not talk about the fire risk either, because we are still looking at that high fire danger across the Sacramento Valley, across the North Coast, the coastal range, all the way up into far northern California, and the coastal range down that's adjacent to the San Joaquin Valley as well, through the Central Coast, because of how hot it is. It's very dry. It is very hot. It will not take much for fires to get established and spread quickly. Now, there's no driver of that, such as wind or a delta breeze or lightning, but still, it would not take much for a fire to get established and really get going. So just be mindful of the fire danger as well, especially if you're maybe out grilling. So when will this heat break? When can we expect some relief? Well, it's not today, that's for sure. Again, today's the peak of the heat, which means we will be going down, but it's going to take a while to reach something that's more tolerable than 112. So this is for today. We talked about the widespread extreme heat risk even down into the metro area. Here's what it looks like for tomorrow. It's better. We're going to be closer to about 106 tomorrow for a high temperature in the Sacramento metro, but we're still going to have the areas of that major heat risk in the upper valleys, and then that extreme heat risk across the foothills and the lower elevations because of how hot it will continue to be overnight. So Saturday night into Sunday morning, going to continue to be very hot there. That's why there's that extreme heat risk. By Monday, the valley's roughly the same, although we start to see some improvements in the kind of low elevations there. Tuesday's when we really start to see things improve. We're going to have a little bit more of a delta breeze. It's going to be cooler overnight. The afternoons are not going to be quite so hot. Wednesday and Thursday, we do warm up again, but we are going to have, I do expect, more of a delta breeze. And that's, you can kind of see that here in that contour. That's why we've got that orange color instead of that red color there. So still going to see some major to extreme heat risk Wednesday and Thursday. But again, there should be more of a delta breeze, which should bring a little bit more relief to the overnight hours. By the time we get to Friday and then Saturday of next week, then we're going to actually start to see this heat wave break. So recapping that weather impact alert, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. today, especially today, because it will be extremely hot, very easy to develop those heat-related illnesses. You're going to want to limit your time outside, spend most of your time in the air conditioning today, if possible. Let's take a look at the next 3 days. 112 today, and I did say it's a peak. We're cooling down. Hard to say 107 or so is cooler, but that is the situation we find ourselves in, where this is several degrees cooler for tomorrow than what we'll see on Saturday. 102 degrees on Monday, so we continue to lose some temperature. We're still going to have some warm mornings, but things do improve. By Tuesday, I've actually shortened up that weather impact alert a little bit. Still going to be very warm to start Tuesday, I expect, but by the time we get to Tuesday afternoon, high temperature about 101, maybe 100 degrees. There's an outside chance it could even be something like 99 degrees downtown on Tuesday. So we are going to see that improvement in the afternoons, which is why I've kind of compacted that weather impact alert, which ends once sunrise happens on Tuesday. But Wednesday, Thursday, we do see a warming trend once again. Back to 104 Wednesday, 107 Thursday. Why are those not alert days right now? Based on the latest data, I do expect to see that delta breeze, like we talked about a minute ago. That is what's preventing me from putting the alert icons here Wednesday, Thursday, because it'll be hot, but the evenings and the mornings should be a lot more manageable by the time we get to midweek and late week. Then by Friday and into Saturday, that's when we're finally going to start to see the heat wave break for good. So we're going to be closer to 100 on Friday. Again, maybe this is when we end that triple-digit streak. I think certainly by Saturday, we've got a good chance of ending that because the data shows we're going to be right near those upper 90s and low triple digits Friday, Saturday. And if that delta breeze is just strong enough, that could prevent us from getting to the triple digits on Friday. By Sunday of next week, so about a week from now, certainly the data supports more upper 90s as opposed to triple digits, but we've still got a ways to go. It's still going to be hot, even Wednesday, Thursday. Not currently alert days. That may change based on the data that comes in over the weekend. We'll keep you updated on that. But based on the current data, they're not alert days. It's still going to be hot, though. 107 is hot. Not going to lie. No way around it. But because of the delta breeze in the evenings, should be more manageable. Also, I want to point this out real fast. The record high for today is 105. Downtown, we're going to be 112, way above the record. I think today's probably the last time we have a chance of setting that daily high temperature record for a little while because it's 110 on Sunday, 110 on Monday as well, and 109 on Tuesday. And we shouldn't really be anywhere near that, certainly not for Monday and Tuesday. So near the records once again today and above the records. But the end is in sight. The end is there to this heat wave over the next 10 days, but it is still going to take a little ways to get there. We're still going to be in the triple digits, and I just can't stress this enough. Be safe out there and take the heat seriously, please, especially today because it will be so hot, so sunny. It will not take long to develop those heat-related illnesses. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again tomorrow.